Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of the death battle between Lucario and Renamon. For those of you that are new to these reviews, I focus less on the animation and humor of death battle and instead focus on the research and critical analysis. You see, I wish to improve my own research and critical analysis capabilities, and these prediction and review videos are a perfect way for me to do so. This video will consist of me going over what I got wrong in my prediction, what I got right, and then what I learned. Let's begin. First, what I got wrong. Those of you that watched my previous review will know that my primary goal going into Lucario vs Renamon was to show these characters at their absolute maximum potential, even if it meant overstating their abilities a bit. And that's exactly what happened. I gave Lucario a bit more credit than he was due. Specifically, I gave him a fair bit more speed than he truly had, due to a rather liberal interpretation of him dodging lightning. In reality, it's far more reasonable to say that he used his aura sense to detect and avoid the attack ahead of time than it is to say that he can move 25 times faster than he has ever demonstrated in any other context. So that was a bit too favorable an interpretation on my part. My one other mistake was not in analysis, but instead in research. Specifically, I failed to fully look into how Lucario's heal pulse ability works. You see, I saw that in the games it could only be used to heal allies, and I left it at that, when really I should have scrolled down a little bit and saw that in the anime it could be used to heal oneself. This is a pretty significant mistake since heal pulse replenishes half of your health. That's a major ability to miss out on. Thankfully, those two are the only apparent mistakes I made this time around. I also missed or didn't cover about 3 feats, but I don't consider that a failing on my part. If you didn't know, my policy regarding missed feats is that it's okay as long as the feats weren't significant. I don't have the time or the resources to find every single feat, so I'm fine with missing a few as long as they aren't big feats, and I don't think any of the feats I missed this time around were very big. Lucario breaking those steel claw things was not a feat I was aware of, but I knew that Lucario could beat down foes stronger than steel, so this feat falls neatly within the parameters I had already set for Lucario's strength. Similarly, while I actually knew about Renamon blasting this ice with Diamond Storm, I didn't bring it up in my prediction because I didn't consider it all that noteworthy. I assume Death Battle decided to focus on this because it was the most measurable Diamond Storm feat. Regardless, nothing they said makes me think this particular feat exceeds the parameters I had established for Diamond Storm in my prediction, so I'm fine with having not covered this as well. And lastly, I also missed that Renamon had apparently sliced a missile with an axe, but I already knew she was strong enough to kill armored Digimon in a single strike, so this also falls within the parameters I set for Renamon. Now for what I got right. Pretty much everything. Aside from the mistakes I just listed, I managed to cover everything Death Battle mentioned in their video. I thoroughly covered the scope of Lucario and Renamon's capabilities both in base stats and arsenals. And of course, I correctly predicted the winner. Now for what I learned. First off, with regards to my goal of showing these characters at their maximum potential, I think I did a pretty good job. I gave Lucario a bit too much credit, but that's fine. It's always better to give a character a bit too much credit than it is to give them too little. Both of those are bad from a research and analysis point of view, but underselling a character is disrespectful on top of being inaccurate. While I did fail to give Lucario access to heal pulse, that was due to a research error, not an analysis error. If I had known about the anime usage of heal pulse and still not given it to him, that would have been not showing him at his maximum potential. As it is, I didn't even know it was a possibility that heal pulse could be used that way, and since this whole exercise was about me learning how to look at feats in the best light possible, I won't count this against me since I didn't even know this was a light heal pulse could be looked at in. And my one other lesson from this video is an old one. Specifically, it is the lesson that I need to look at outstanding feats within the context of the character's history. If Lucario has never moved anywhere near lightning speed before or after this feat, and there is room for interpretation regarding this feat, then I should have known that it wasn't legit. This is a moderately more advanced lesson than the others, but still one I should have learned by now. That's everything I learned, which means we've reached the end of the video. As a whole, I am quite pleased with this death battle. I accomplished my maximum potential goal, and I got almost everything right about the characters. This was a much-needed return to form for me after the fiasco that was the May and June death battles. I'm glad to have the opportunity to get a winning streak back on track again. Does 2 wins count as a winning streak? Regardless, I'm sure 3 wins counts, so I'll just make sure to get the next match right as well. Wish me luck on this next fight though, because I suspect this is going to be painfully difficult to predict a winner for. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.